Home prep also is getting the home inspected. I don't care how big it is. I don't care how cool it is. I don't care how new it is. You got to go through an inspection. You have to have a 6-point inspection up front. The home that we just sold, our inspector caught something as Billy just walked out. I think it was a truss was broken, right? We find it, we fix it. No problem. If they find it, it's a problem. That could be a condition for them walking on a contract, freaking them out. If that's broken, what else is broken? It just freaks buyers out. So doing a home inspection up front is, I say I highly recommend it. I can't say I want to require it, but I highly, highly recommend that a seller do that. And we had 6 houses. One was a beautiful house, gorgeous house. And then we had 5 other houses. This is the first ones we did when we started pre-inspecting. So I said, well, let's skip the big one because that's so pretty, that's so nice. It's, that we won't do that one, but we'll do the other 5. The other 5 sold and settled, no home inspections, no problems. The house on Bryan Drive, the beautiful house, kicked out because of the home inspection. We lost $100,000. Now everybody's going to do it. I don't care how cool your house is, how great it is. You need an inspection. You need a 6-point inspection. You need to check on the foundation. You need to check on the heating, cooling, roof, that kind of thing, okay? So when you're preparing a home, it is extremely important that you get this home inspection done. It's also extremely important that on luxury homes, you use a thing called flambient photography. Now, you may not do that on a $400,000 or an $800,000 home or a $600,000 home. We do only because it produces pictures on the left that we see the really nice hardwood floors and pictures on the right where those are shiny. That is flash photography on the right. That is flambient photography on the left. The picture on the far left on the top, that is flambient photography. You can see how clear those windows are. You can see what trees they are. You can even identify the trees in the back. The bottom is the old listing agent, one of the ones on Sun Gazette paper, who couldn't sell it, and that's what flash photography looks like. Now, when I talk about marketing, you're going to understand this, that people are going to see your house, aren't even looking in that area or in that town. So when they go online to see this, they got to see, and this should be, we're going to take those pictures, we're going to make a custom website. Every home that we do has a custom website, and it's more important for God, just now, bust this thing up. So they need to see all pictures, all rooms, all flambient photography. They need to know what are all the upgrades you have in your house. Remember, the value of the house is what you paid in upgrades. So I'm going to list the $800,000 of upgrades that guy had in that house. All of them, right? So a custom website can really expand all the things in a luxury home that you need to talk about. You need to also talk about why do I love this house? What's so special about this house? I call it the wife-to-wife conversation. They can have that on this. But our marketing, which is going to come up in a minute, is trying to drive people to this site so they can get all the information they can. It looks cool. It's flambient pictures, night shots. It's just great. Because what Julie's going to do is she's going to create reels like this, and she's going to send it all over social media, because here's the key to selling a luxury house. The buyer for your home is not looking in your market. That's what you've got to think, right? So we sold a home in the home on the bottom left down there. That was a home, $2.25 million in Fairfax Station, Virginia. Nobody is putting $2.2 million in their computer looking at Fairfax Station. That buyer pool is not existent, right? There's a lot of them in McLean. There's a lot of them in Arlington, a lot of them in Vienna. So what Julie does is she'll package this up. She'll make the ads and she'll make the reels, and she'll make sure that anybody looking for a house in McLean or Arlington or in the outer lying areas or Vienna is going to see this house. So on the house on the bottom left, we had one buyer. He was looking at McLean. He saw the ad. He called Morgan. Says, can you let me in this house? He goes, first of all, where the hell is Fairfax Station? Right? He's only looking at McLean. Just drives him out, falls in love with it. He writes a contract. He pays all cash, $2.25 million, all cash, one buyer. Found through marketing that's trying to target people outside of that area. So let's say Waldorf. If somebody's looking for a $900,000 house, you're selling a $900,000 house, they're probably not looking in Waldorf. They might be looking in, where would somebody looking for a $900,000 house around you, what town would they be looking at? Right? You're marketing that house in those areas. Right? That's where the buyers are. That's where the fishing, that's where the pool is. That's where your buyer pool is. So using geofencing, using Google Ads, using some sophisticated technology that Julie can explain to me, and I still don't understand. You take that property and you're marketing it to other places. Now, this White House right here you see in the middle, that house, another good example, that house was in Vienna. It was on for $1.6 million. We were testing it. Nobody was interested in it. Nobody was looking at it from Vienna. But if you look up there, it had 14,000 views. Had 183 people either liked it, loved it, commented, shared it, and did all that. So with that, I paused. I said, wait a minute. Something's going on with this house. I mean, I know Vienna doesn't like it, and we're not getting any loves or no favorites. Something's going on. Get a phone call. Hey, where the hell's Vienna, Virginia? The first words out of his mouth. Where the hell's Vienna, Virginia? I said, it's in Northern Virginia. He said, where is it? Is it anywhere near McLean? I said, where are their neighbors? He goes, oh, shit. I've been looking at McLean for a year. That came on my Wall Street Journal. He's in a penthouse in New York City. That came on my Wall Street Journal this morning. I love that house. 1.6? Yeah. He goes, I'll be on a plane. I'll be on the 1 o'clock down there. He came down with his agent. We showed it to him. They wrote a contract. It was all cash. He bought the house. And I was this close to going, hey, man, nobody loves this house in this area. We got to get this price down, right? Nobody's coming to see the house. And it was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous house. Nobody was coming to see that house. And then we got that phone call from New York. So I will say this is not, again, this is not the exception. This is the rule. Pharisee Ways back here is selling beautiful homes in Willowsford. In Willowsford. Do you think anybody looking in Vienna has ever heard of Willowsford? Hell no. But they're getting his listings. 2.5 million, 1.8 million, 1.7 million. Do you think the population of Aldi is the buyer pool? Or do you think the population of McLean and Vienna and Arlington and all that is his buyer pool? The buyer pools go west. So you got the employment center, you're out here, whoever's in here, that's your buyer pool, right? You've got to reach out and get them. So you've got your local buyer pool in the MLS, but luxury homes rely on the outer lying buyer pool because that's where the money is, all right? A guy comes into a house Kelly was selling, and I guess it was on the market for, let's say, 1.4. The seller thought we were on for too high, and people were bidding at 1.45 or 1.475. The seller was thrilled, and the guy comes in, he goes, hey, man, if I give you 1.65 for this, is that good? It's like, yeah, that's good. He goes, because in L.A., I can't buy an apartment for that. Coming in from L.A. money, boom. Billy sold a house this weekend. It was on for $1.3 million. And again, Julie's marketing in D.C., and so a D.C. agent brings his client out, not looking in Vienna, this is not where they started, and paid $187,000 over list price. Billy, what was the next closest contract? Nobody listens to this show.
You sure you want to go into that?
Nobody listens to this
we had
show.
we had 6 offers on that one. The top offer shot.
Hey, Billy, before you say anything. Hey, Billy, before
I don't
want to
go into all of it, but
before you say anything.
There was a few over 1.4.
It doesn't have any contingencies, right?
No. Yeah, no contingencies. All 6
DC
actually.
guy doesn't listen to us. They think they're smart.
Well, there is an HOA, so that's why I'm like.
All right. If you've got an HOA, forget about it.
After 9 p.m.,
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
But no, there was definitely a few offers over 1.4. They came in, a little bit higher than everyone else, but there was 6 offers in. None of them were contingent on anything. So we had 6 great offers that came in, and this one just bid over the top. And like Casey's saying, it was a DC agent, California buyers. They're in temp housing. We marketed to them. They're coming out to Vienna now, and they're spending California money, not Vienna money. So that's kind of what Casey's touching on whenever you're marketing.
I'm not sure we want California buyers, but hey.
Yeah.
My job is to sell the house at the highest number available, and I got to like Cali. I like Cali. They don't care. So as far as marketing is concerned, that's what you have to consider when you're selling luxury homes. It's a different kind of marketing. It's not put it in the MLS and let the agents looking in the area look for it. So if you're at a 900 in your market, those agents might not have buyers looking for it. But the people in Bowie or Upper Marlboro and all those places, they have it, right? So you want to market to them, and that's kind of the key to this. We got to look great. We got to have flamboyant photography. We have to make sure that everything in that house looks transitional. If you have a website, you have a website. I think Samson might provide it for the agents. We designed ours years ago, and we're happy with that. So, yes.
I mean, we do the same thing. So we have one coming on for $850. It's coming soon right now, going active, I guess, at 5 o'clock. But it's in Annandale, technically, close to Nova Hospital. But we go out and market to anyone who's looking in Vienna and the outside areas and bring them here because people don't even realize how close it is. We're up to 40 showings. And
how many?
41. So, yeah, bringing everyone around. I mean, it's a great
Now, I'm going to tell you, and I kind of overpriced it a little bit. We're thinking $840. I priced it at $850, right? Yeah. So we did it a little bit. Now, this is just a test. If we don't get the buyers or we don't get the people coming, I'm over. I need to fall back to $799. The sellers are waiting for that. But then all of a sudden, you get 40 people coming. It's like, holy shit. Now, we don't raise the price when we go to listing. We let them bid the price up. I mean, we're getting 100, 150, 200,000. Billy settled on a house yesterday, 200,000 over list price. So we're not going to raise the price, but we are going to be very cognizant of the contract process. Now, this is very, very important. The contracts, the agents coming in are desperate. They have written 5 contracts. They haven't got them. They can be ruthless on trying to get a contract pushed through. They can try and get you to sign off on a contract on Saturday. They are absolutely ruthless. Not ruthless as much as desperate, right? And you can say ABC, and they'll say, but you said DEF, and you said it. So I'm like, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? So you want to be very careful when you're dealing with them. You want to be very specific on your contract instructions. Contracts are due Monday at noon. We're not going to tell you how many we have. It's not in the best interest of the seller. We want Cardinal Title to come in. They prefer April 30th settlement date. They'd like to rent back for 30 days. So all the things you need to know, because what they're going to do is they may get you in a conversation, and then they're going to drag you into the mud. And before you know it, you're in a let me give you an example. You can say, hey, they bring in a contract. Oh, what are you going to say to the seller? We prefer Cardinal Title. I like the good down payment. We prefer this, we prefer that. Okay. So they go back, get the contract, give it to, well, you're going to present it, right now, right? They're going to sign off on it because I did exactly what you told me to do, right? You said, just happened. Just happened. Hey, man, check the contract instructions. Contract instructions are very specific on what you need to do in order to be competitive for this house. Now,
Case, just to touch on that, I was actually just on a phone call with an agent doing the exact same thing. What do you need? What if I give you 2-3? Sign off on it right now. Cancel the open house. So it happens every week, and we have a protocol. Stick to the protocol. Monday at noon. Well, what if I give you $300,000 over, free rent back, yada 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 yada. So what I will touch on is your best contract is your backup contract. Because your first contract might spend something way over, and they get cold feet, and they give up their $100,000 deposit, and they don't show up at the settlement table. If we don't have a backup contract, now we go back onto the market, and we look like damaged goods. So Monday at noon, we love sticking to that protocol just because if I have 7 or 8 contracts and the first one kicks out, I can go to contract 2, 3, 4. And that way we don't have to go back on the market. Look like damage goods.
We have
you go back to
protocols,
your
and
list price.
protocols work. You're only
So-
as good as your backup contract.
So taking a contract during coming soon is you're playing with fire because you don't know if you have any backups or where they are or who they are. So
Yep.
that's just, yeah.
All right.
One other thing is, people will say, and I have this going on with our listing right now, with people ask, what is it? What's your number? What is the number where they will sign off on it? It's like, I don't know the number. We will only know that number Monday at noon once I have everyone in the house putting in their contracts. So we don't know that number yet.
And again, Well, listen. Again, I have no ill will about the agents. They're getting rung through the ringer. They've put in a lot of contracts, so we're just trying to corral them and keep them on the straight and narrow so we don't get in the mud here. Okay. So, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. And if there's one showing and no one's calling me, the conversation's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If no one's coming and they're like, we'll give you this and this, I'm like, yeah, maybe I will bring that to the seller. But we have 24 showings tomorrow and Saturday. We have teammates that are showing the house, so the conversation's different as if there was no one coming.
Well,
We had one, and we had no one. We had so many showings. No one was putting in an offer, and an agent was trying to give us a deadline Saturday. It was 100 over, non-contingent. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but
Never done this
that's
before.
pretty good. That's good enough. All right, I'll see what I can do.
So, anyways, yes, we take them as we get them. We decide what's going on. We try and hold out. The one property that we sold in Fairfax Station, we knew it didn't have a big buyer pool. There was nobody coming to see it. The one guy walked in and said, I'll give you all cash and settle in 6 days. Like, deal. No contingencies. Deal. So, yes, there are exceptions to that rule, but so let's take this right here. The next part of contracts and making sure that we keep everybody on the straight and narrow when we get to Monday at noon. This was a situation where somebody put a contract in on this house. It was $1.4 million that had an escalation clause. She is the only bidder on this house. She's all we got. Our policy is no escalation clauses, but she's my only buyer, right? So I went Chris Voss on her, that FBI hostage negotiator I talked about, and I call her up and I go, well, blah, blah. She goes, oh, my buyers are very anxious to get this contract. I said, anxious, which is a mirror technique, just mention the last word they say. Anxious. She goes, yeah, they've lost 5 contracts. I'm trying to decide whether I need to just say, I'll take the 1.4 million or not. She discloses they've had 5, lost 5, really love this house, cannot lose it, cannot lose this house. I need your highest and best offer. She gave me all the ammunition I needed to say, she ain't walking. I need your highest and best offer. Monday by noon. How about, she submitted, she goes, they're coming in at 155, removing all contingencies, and the deposit is live. I'm like, deal. You got it. She bid against herself $150,000. Highest and best. I need your highest and best offer. You should never accept escalation clauses. You should shoot for highest and best. The highest and best offer is coming 50, 100, or 150,000 over the next closest offer, which just happened to be her. She bid over herself. At the same time this was happening, Morgan was on Hunter Mill Road. She pulled in 175,000 over list price. Same situation, one buyer bid against themselves, 175,000 over. So I got 150 over, and I only had one buyer. I got her a bid against herself for 150, and I got outdone by my daughter, who's right down the road. Oh, I got 175. That's where the magic happens. When people say, where does the magic happen? That's where the magic happens. That's where people make 50, 100, 150,000 over the next highest contract. That's how contracts work. So when you're in this group, in a luxury home situation, and I think over anyone, but you need to be very strict on what the rules are and just say follow the protocol. Protocol works. Don't change protocol. And anybody can send us an email and say, can you send us your contract? Or go to any one of my listings. The contract, go to the contract information, instructions, copy them. Paste them. Take my name out, put your name in. I don't give a shit. That's fine. But I'm just saying, if you vary from protocol, you could be losing $50,000 or $100,000, or $45,000 or $50,000. But let me tell you something: $45,000 or $50,000 to a person selling a $600,000 house, a lot more valuable than $200,000 to a guy selling a $2 million house. Go ahead. Do you have a question? Can we get that microphone down here real quick? I'm really going to have to cut this off in 4 minutes, so I don't know if I have anything else, but let's...
Yeah, it's a very quick question.
Yeah.
Why do you say do not take escalation clauses if a lot of agents say when you put in an offer, do the escalation clause?
Sure. Every buyer agent wants to do an escalation clause. Every buyer agent. And that protects the buyers. It's in the buyer's best interest. I don't represent the buyers. I represent the sellers. I do. Every buyer agent goes, go, unfair. No, it's not. I just showed you that I got $150,000 over list price because I wouldn't accept the escalation clause.
Seller.
I'm representing
buyer.
the seller.
If I'm with a buyer,
It's my job.
Of course, I love escalation. I love to put that in there.
Go ahead. Did you have something, Ferris? Did you want the mic? Give her the mic. Give him the mic.
I was just reiterating the point that I used to accept escalation clauses, and I lost $60,000 for a client. If I would have gone with Casey's way of doing it, which I do now, I would have got them that maximum ceiling price. I had someone from the Washington football team or whatever put an offer in. They have all the cash in the world, but if I would have said no escalations, I would have got 1.4 rather than 10,000 over the next best offer. So my sellers lost money. That's why we don't do escalations.
Escalation clause says go for 5,000 over there until you get to this. I want this. I don't want that. I want this. My job is to get the seller as much money as possible. That's what they pay me to do. We're hired guns. That's what we're going to do. Not here to, and again, not trying to be unfair. I represent a seller, and that's the best way to do it. Obviously, I can show people that you make 150,000 more, and that's just the way to do it. You've been listening to Coffee with Casey. Today, we've been talking about selling luxury homes, the things you need to do in order to sell a luxury home. There are hundreds of thousands of dollars at stake. In markets we sell in, sometimes there's only 14% of the homes sell in the proper time and for the proper value. So it's important to stick with protocols when selling luxury homes, and that will make your clients the maximum amount of money. My name is Casey Samson. This is Coffee with Casey. You can go to CaseySamson.com, listen to the podcast on all the shows for more information on the real estate strategies and market conditions. Julie does a great job of putting it on. We'll see you again next week. Thanks.